Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. So we are learning what is Sila, right? We are learning about Sila or morality. Sila means conduct or habit. Sila actually means conduct. In other, we can call it habit, right? Habit. Our bodily action, our bodily conduct, our body conduct are called Sila. And also it means habit. We have a habitual actions, what we are doing every day, right? We have a habit of acting with our body and speaking with our body, our habit. So that is called Sila, right? So if we take it conduct or habit, it can be good or bad, right? So that means we have a good conduct as well as with a bad conduct, right? We have a good habit or a bad habit, right? So that is called Sila. Both negative and positive meanings can be found in Pali Canon as well. So Pali Canon use the words Sila, Susila and Dosila, right? Susila and Dosila. Susila means the one who has a good conduct or the one who has a good habit. And Dosila means the one who has a bad conduct or the one who has a bad habit, right? So when we look at those definitions, Sila actually means conduct or habit, right? It can be good, it can be bad, right? It can be good, it can be bad. Mostly the term Sila is used in the sense of positive conduct. In the sense of positive conduct, right? So now we are using the word Sila. So in our class we are using in a positive sense, right? Positive sense. So when we are talking about Sila, so that means it is a good conduct or a good habit, right? So normally it can mean both. We have a very famous stanzas that we are always using as a blessing. Abhivadana Silesa, right? Abhivadana Silesa, nature, Oda Pachayino, Chataro, Dhamma Vadanti, Ayu Ono Sukham Balan. So in that stanzas, we have the word Sila. Sila means habit, right? Just a habit. So we have a one term, a very famous term. So when we talk about rites and rituals, Silapata Paramasa, Silapata Paramasa. In that sense, Sila is just habit or just a conduct. So it can be good or it can be bad, right? It can be good and it can be bad. So regarding with the Abhivadana Silesa, nature Oda Pachayino, Silesa, Sila. But here, so the meaning of that stanza is the one who is always paying respect to the elderly people and paying homage to the elderly people and he will have a long life, beauty, and strength, and ayurvana, sukha, happiness, right? Happiness, long life, strength, happiness, and beauty. Yes. So for those who are paying respect to the elderly people and paying homage, paying homage to the elderly people, they can be expect 4 things, right? 4 things. So in that a famous verse, the word Sila is just habit. So in the habit of paying homage and paying respect to the elderly people, right? They can expect 4 things. But here, in our class, we are using in a positive context, right? Positive context. Sila can be translated as a morality, moral conduct, virtuous behavior, virtue, discipline, or restraint, or ethic, and many other more, right? Many other more. So actually, mostly we use the word morality, right? Morality. Bhikkhu Bodhi use virtuous behavior, right? Very beautiful term. And also, I also like the word moral conduct, right? So our conduct must be a moral one, no? Moral and virtuous one. So when we refer to Vinaya Pitaka, we will use the discipline, right? So we have a disciplines or restraint, right? Restraint. And also ethic, right? Ethical conduct or moral conduct. Then I think that after learning the topic morality or Sila, so you can compare Buddhist moral conduct and also the moral conduct taught by the scholars from East and West, right? From East and West. So you can compare both moral conduct or morality, right? So in Pali Canon, Sila Sampano is very often mentioned, endowed with the virtue, right? Endowed with the morality. For those who are endowed with the virtue or morality, they can go to good destinations, right? Good destinations like this. I think I will show a very clear and very easy definition of Sila, right? And just remember this definition, the most easy and the most precise one. Sila basically means a conduct or a behavior that control our body and speech, and also that use our body and speech because of 2 reasons: not to do any evil deeds, and second one, to do good deeds, right? That is a simplest way of definition of Sila. So a conduct or behavior that control our body and speech not to do any evil. A conduct or a behavior that we use our body and speech to do good deed, right? That is Sila. So we trying to control our body and speech not to do an evil deed. We trying to use our bodily and verbal actions to do good things, right? So that is called Sila. So we are not calling Sila a mental action, right? We are not using Sila as a mental action. Only bodily action and verbal action, right? So if you can control your body and speech not to lead to a bad behavior, right? And trying to use our bodily and verbal actions to do good things. So therefore, do's and don'ts are 2 aspects of morality, right? So when we talk about Sila or morality, as a Buddhist, we remember, don't do that, right? Not to kill sentient beings, not to steal, right? Not to tell lies. So when we talk about morality or Sīla, we pay much attention to negative side, right? Negative side. So here we have to remember do's and don'ts, right? Both of the do's and don'ts are aspects of morality. If you are doing something, good things, that can be morality. So if you are controlling your bodily and verbal actions, not to do bad things, right? That is also aspect of morality. So I think that this is the most easy way, right? So when we are talking about Sīla or morality, try to remember this definition, right? So I think that most of you already know a very famous verse from Dhammapara, not to do any evil, to do good deed, right? So these are two aspects of morality. Two aspects of morality. So not to do any evil, to do good deeds. And to purify one's mind. So you need to purify your mind. That is meditation. That is a bhavana that we are going to learn, right? As a next topic. So this is a teaching of the Buddhas. Here, all the Buddhas, not one Buddha, right? This is a teaching source all the Buddhas. So when somebody asks, what is teachings of the Buddha? We normally quote this verse. Not to do an evil, number one, and to do good deeds, number two, and to purify oneself, right? But if you look at this verse, it's too condensed, right? So it's not clear what is evil deed and what is good deed, right? So I think that we will clarify what is good deed, what is bad deed. So after we learn this topic, you will know very clearly, right? What is good and what is bad. Other than that, you don't need to care, right? You don't need to care. You will know a precise definition of what is good and what is bad, right? And also purify one's mind. How to purify your mind, right? We call it kilesa. We have a lot of defilements in our mind. Negative mental state. We need to purify, right? So we can purify those defilements in our mind through meditation, through mindfulness, right? Through mindfulness. So we will learn in this topic. So this is the teachings of the Buddha. So we can summarize teachings of the Buddha in this way, right? In other words, we can say this is a Sīla Samadhi Panya, right? So this is a Sīla Samadhi Panya. So we can say that Sīla Samadhi Panya are the teachings of all the Buddhas, right? So when we want to summarize Tipitaka, so there's only three words, right? Sīla Samadhi Panya. So if you want to widen teachings of the Buddha, you can summarize another way: Dana, Sīla, Bhavana. Dana is too busy, right? So when we want to talk about the path to purification of our mind, only three: Dana, Sīla, Bhavana, right? Dana, Sīla, Bhavana. So here, when you look at this verse, not to do any evil, to do good deed, that is Sīla, right? So here, not to do any evil is a negative definition of Sīla, right? Sorry, the definition of Sīla from negative point of view, right? And to do good deed, so that is the definition of Sīla from the positive point of view, right? Positive point of view. So I will call it two aspects of morality, do's and don'ts, right? Do's and don'ts. And we will learn, actually mostly it is very important to know that Buddhism is accused of pessimistic religions. The reason is we normally learn something, important thing, from the negative part, right? Negative part. That's very important. Even we learn about Nibbana, we learn from the negative point of view, right? Dukkha Nidora, cessation of suffering, right? Cessation of suffering. Actually, we are learning through the negative part. Actually, to know important teachings, just like Nibbana, right? So I think we have to look at from a different point of view, from negative point of view and positive point of view. Here also, when we are learning Sila, and we started with the negative point of view, not to kill, not to steal, not to tell lie, right? So we have to know two aspects from the two aspects. Okay. Then Visuddhimagga mentioned, Visuddhimagga define what is Sila. So I also like this definition, very clear and easy to understand. Sila is the states beginning with the volition or motivation, cetana in Pali, cetana, present in one who abstain from killing living beings, etc. Right? Killing living beings, taking what is not given, telling a lie, right? And the one who fulfills the practice of the duties, right? The practice of the duties, it is called Sila. Sila means the state of the volition or motivation, right? Motivation. So here, a Buddhist definition of Sila is very important. We go back to the core, the root of all our actions, right? It's very important. For that reason, sometimes we should say that Abhidhamma is very important. If you understand Abhidhamma, you understand the core or the root of your behavior or behavior of human beings, right? Not only human beings, any sentient beings. So here also, Visuddhimagga go, the root, right? The root is volition or motivation, right? So whatever we do with our body, whatever we are speaking, the root is motivation, right? So I came here to teach. The root is motivation or volition, right? The motivation to share the message of the Buddha. You came here all the way to Mangala Vihara. Motive, right? Motivation. You have a strong motivation to learn the Dhamma. So therefore, Visuddhimagga mentioned, the root. The root of our bodily action and verbal actions is a volition, right? So therefore, we always said that Chetanaham Bhikkhave Kamma Varami. The Buddha said that Chetanaham Bhikkhave Kamma Varami. It is the volition or motivation I call the karma. So when we call karma, it is volition or motivation, right? So sometimes we kill sentient beings accidentally, right? Without any motivation or without any motive, then that is not called karma, right? That's not called karma because you don't have a motivation or volition to kill sentient beings, right? So therefore, when Venerable Buddhaghosa interpret what is the definition of Sila, he go back to the root. So the root is volition or motivation. So when we are killing sentient beings, if we have motivation in our mind, then it is karma. If there is no motivation, you kill somebody without intention, right? Without motivation, so that is not called karma. And one who fulfills the practice of the duties, we have our own duties, right? As a man, I have my own duties. as a lay devotees, you have your own duties, right? As a parents, as a children, so they have their own duties. So the one who is fulfilling those duties is called Sila, right? The motivation or a good way in our heart, right? Or a bad way in our heart. So that is called Sila. I think here also, Venerable Buddha Ghosa interpret the meaning of Sila, the definition of Sila, from negative point of view as well as positive point of view, right? The state beginning with the volition or motivation present in one who abstains from killing living beings, stealing what is not given, etc. Right? This is from negative point of view. And the one who fulfills the practice of duties, right? Duties. So that is also the definition of another aspect of morality from the positive point of view, right? I think it's the same definition that I have given earlier, right? So here, Sila means a conduct or a behavior that control our body not to do any evil. A bad deed, we use our body and a conduct or behavior that we use our body and speeches to do good things, right? To do good things. So that is called Sila. Any question up to now? Okay, no question. Let's go. The commentaries mention three kinds of morality. So when it mentions about 10 bases of meritorious deeds, right? We have a 10 bases of meritorious deeds. So when we learn about dana, a dana or giving is one, and sharing all the merit, and rejoicing in other merit, right? So these three are connected with the dana. So these are among the 10 bases of meritorious deed, right? So when we are talking about meritorious deed, these are three types connected with the dana, right? And regarding with the Sila, we have a three type. Number one, morality. Number two, respect. And number three, service. So these are three aspects of morality according to commentaries, right? According to commentaries. Here, morality, we don't need to explain. And second one, paying respect, right? If you pay respect to the men, if you pay respect to your parents, to anyone, right? To anyone. But here respect means two types. If you pay respect to the elderly people, right? In Pali, it is called Garawa. But when you respect to the junior people, right? That's called Nivada, right? Nivada. So in Mingala Sutta, two aspects of respect, right? If you respect senior people, that is called Garawa. If you respect to the junior people, that is called Nivada, right? So here respect means two aspects. I think later I will explain in detail. And number three, service. You render your service to the society, to the temple, to your family, to your countries, right? So that is called service, right? Service. We call it Vayavacha in Pali. Vayavacha in Pali. So here, so when you are rendering service to the community who are doing good things, right? You are not rendering your service for those who are doing bad things. It's not called service. So here, service is you are giving your service to those or to the societies who are doing good things, right? Then only it is called under Sila. I think if you are rendering service, suppose it's hard to call if you are rendering service to your country for fighting, right? It may not be called service according to Bodhisattvic, right? Bodhisattvic. So these are morality, respect, and service are mentioned as three kinds of morality as a part of 10 bases of meritorious deed, right? So among the three, we will learn about morality first, then respect and service, right? Okay. So these are the definition of Sīla. Definition of Sīla. I hope it is clear, right? It's clear. Okay. Question with the microphone.
There's still a tendency that service is a bad service. Right? Also, the previous slide, there's still a possibility that the duty is a bad duties. Like for example, if he is a pest controller, then his dutiful, his duty is to kill the pest. So every morning he goes to kill. This is his fulfilling his duty. But his duty is a bad duty.
I think it can be a bad duty and a good duty. But here, we have to take it a good one, right? We have to take it a good one. So when we interpret Bodhisila, right? So actually, I interpret the meaning of Sīla, even in Pali Canon itself mentioned both negative and positive definition, right? But anyway, we are talking about the path to purity, the purity of the mind, right? So therefore, the Sīla, the definition of Sīla should be a positive one, right? But it can be both positive and negative, just like a duty, positive duty and negative duty, right? But here, so when we are talking about a duty, that means a positive one, right? Positive one. Even the service also, you are giving your service for those who are doing good things, right? For those who are doing good things. Okay, so that is the definition of Sīla. And regarding with the Sīla, I want to mention the statement or a beautiful word taught by a very famous scholar. It's called Professor Matmula. He was a German-born philosopher and Orientalist, and he experts in Pali, especially in Sanskrit. And he edited a lot of books, a series of books, and also he supervised the sacred books of the East. The sacred books of the East. So these are the translation of the Pali Canon as well as the commentaries, right? He supervised. Actually, he himself wrote so many books, but he also supervised many scholars to translate Pali Canon as well as the commentaries, and also to edit Pali Canon as well as commentaries, right? So these are a well-known Orientalist professor. A German-born. Most of the time he lived in England, and he is one of the founder of the Western Academic Field of Indian Studies and disciplines of comparative study, right? Comparative religion. He talked about Buddhist moral code, Buddhist Sīla. And he said that Buddhist moral code is one of the most perfect which the world have ever known, right? It's very heartening to know that the Buddhist moral code, in other words, it is a Sīla, is the most perfect in the world, right? He is a scholar, the Christian background, the Western background, right? Who study a lot of religions, who study a lot of ethics, right? Then after we finish this topic, then you can Google moral conduct or morality, and you will see series of a lot of discussions, right? A lot of discussions that you can listen to them and you can compare with the Buddhist ethic, right? Buddhist ethic or Buddhist moral conduct. Then you will see the difference, right? You will see the difference, and you will have a better understanding about regarding with our ethic or morality, right? Ethic or morality. So to summarize the definition of Sīla, we try to control our body and our speech not to do bad things, right? And this is it from negative side. We try to use our body and verbal actions to do good things, right? To do good things. So that is called Sīla. Now let's talk about the definition, different type of Sīla. So we have a different type of Sīla mentioned in the Pali Canon as well as commentaries, right? As well as commentaries. First of all, I want to start with the two types of Sīla, which is the best grouping of Sīla, classification of Sīla, right? It is mentioned in Visuddhimagga. So as you all know that Visuddhimagga trying to explain Sīla Samadhi Panya, right? Using a lot of reference from the Pali Canon, from the Suttas, right? So therefore, Visuddhimagga is very important for us. If you understand, if you can read Visuddhimagga, and you understand Buddhist teaching better. As I said that, it is a Buddhist Bible or a Buddhist Quran, right? So you can study teachings of the Buddha in one book. I think the translation of Visuddhimagga is not easy to read, right? But I have given the reference. So after using those reference, you go and read yourself, right? And you were used to it. You trying to use those reference and go to Visuddhimagga, the translation of Bhikkhu Ñāṇamoli. Then trying to read, and you will have a you will know how to read, right? How to read. Many people complain that very difficult to read, right? Very difficult. Even for us, of course, not easy to read, but we have to use both Pali and English translation. So then we have to compare what he is talking about. So otherwise, not really easy, right? Not really easy. But if you go and read those chapters for you, not difficult, right? Not difficult. But here, Visuddhimagga chapter 1, paragraph number 26. Chapter 1, paragraph number 26. Mention two types of Sīla. And in Visuddhimagga, Sīla is categorized into different groups. In one classification, two type of Sīla is mentioned. Number one, we use the word practice, right? Practice. Charita Sīla. So we try to practice positive moral conduct and virtuous behavior. So that is called practice Sīla. We try to practice, put into practice a good behavior, right? And helping other people and trying to fulfill your duty, right? Trying to use a beautiful speeches and trying to smile other people, right? Smiling other people also is Sīla, right? Remember that when you are smiling other people, that you are practicing a positive conduct, right? A positive Sīla. It's not really easy to smile other people, right? Not really easy. Actually, I have read a beautiful story written by Mr. Chan. So when he talk about in Monday class, it's very beautiful. So one of the guy came to temple, one of the Bhante, and talking that he has a lot of problem. He does not know what to do. So Bhante suggested, whatever reason, smile at the people. Whenever you meet people, smile at, right? Then without a reason, right? Then he followed that suggestion. A few days later, he came to temple smiling. He said that he sorted out, right? Can you share that story? It's very beautiful indeed. I like that story. Smiling, it involves our body, right? Our body. That means a good conduct. Practice Sila, right? Practice Sila. It's very important. Yesterday, one of the son and his father came to temple and requested blessing. And the father said that bless his son to get a job. Of course, we have to bless whatever reason, no reason. Go and bless at the shrine hall. Then after blessing, I told the son, when you go to interview, smile. It's very important, right? Showing a smile is very important, right? It shows you you are very friendly and you're very good person, right? So here, a smile is a type of practice, right? It is under Sila. It's called practice or Charita Sila. And number 2, avoidance, avoided Sila, avoiding negative conduct, negative behaviors, trying to avoid harming other people, and trying to avoid cheating other people, exploiting other people, right? Trying to avoid not to tell lie, right? So these are avoidance Sila. So here also, I think we trying to interpret the definition of Sila from positive and negative point of view, right? The practice Sila is positive one. Avoidance Sila is a negative one, right? Negative one. So these are 2 types of Sila. But if you know 2 types of Sila, more than enough, right? More than enough, right? Regarding with the 2 types of, I want to start with the avoidance Sila, right? Avoidance. Want to interpret what is the avoidance. Avoiding unwholesome actions. In Pali, we call it akusala karma, right? So we are learning about karma, right? So I think that later I will try to explain different type of karma, right? Different type of karma. For the time being, so while we are learning morality or Sila, we are learning karma as well, right? We are learning karma as well. Avoiding unwholesome actions, just like killing sentient beings, stealing, and sexual misconduct. So all these are called unwholesome actions. Unwholesome actions. In Pali, we call it akusala karma, right? Akusala karma. Then practice Charita Sila, practicing wholesome actions, just like smiling, right? Just like smiling. Just like keeping your house very clean, right? These are the positive Sila. Such as fulfilling one's own duty, rendering service to your family, to your temple, to your countries, right? So these are called practice. I think that is quite clear, right? Clear. Now I want to go further regarding with the avoidance and practice Sila. Number 1, avoiding killing, harming any sentient beings. So this is the first precept among the 5, right? Among the 5 precepts, this is the first one among the 5 precepts. Avoiding killing, not only killing, but also harming other people, harming sentient beings, right? Sentient beings. Not only human beings, but also any sentient beings, right? Sentient beings. So this is what is the Sila, avoidance Sila. Then protecting all living beings from possible dangers. So that is a avoidance, right? Sorry, this is a practice, a positive aspect of Sila. Protecting all beings, all living beings from possible dangers. If you are protecting your children, your family, your country, right, from possible danger, it's called positive practice Sila, charita Sila. And number 2, avoiding stealing, exploiting, and cheating. Actually, we have a different type of taking what is not given, different type of stealing. If you are exploiting your workers, if you are cheating in your business, that is the type of adena dana, right? So when we learn adena dana, we will go in detail. So these are the negative part that you have to avoid, right? That you have to avoid. Then developing generosity. Instead of cheating, you're trying to develop generosity, right? You're trying to practice contentment. Instead of exploiting other people, you're trying to content what you have, right? What you deserve. That is a positive aspect of Sila, and also fairness, right? And number 3, avoiding sexual misconduct. That's something that you have to avoid. Then positive one, being faithful to your own partner, to your husband, to your wife, you're faithful to them, right? And also taking care of your family. Actually, taking care of your family, that means you are fulfilling your duty, right? That is a positive aspect of Sila, or morality. Some people, they love their family too much, so much, right? They're trying to make money, and they're trying to provide the family for the welfare of the family. That is the Sila, right? A positive aspect of Sila. And number 4, avoiding telling a lie. That is something you have to avoid. So instead of telling a lie, you trying to practice honesty. You tell the truth, right? Truthfulness. You tell the truth. You tell the pleasant speeches, right? You use the pleasant speeches. So that is a positive practice Sila. Number 5, avoiding taking intoxicants such as alcohol, drugs, etc. And also smoking also, I think smoking also, right, is a kind of intoxicants, right? It's addicted. So for that reason, smoking is seriously dangerous, right? Written. Even though it's written on the secret, they stay smoke, right? The reason they are intoxicants, something that make them addicted to them, right? But regarding with the positive one, cultivating mindfulness and clarity of the mind. If you become drunk, your mind is not clear, right? You don't have a clarity of the mind, and you are likely to commit unwholesome activities, right? And also cultivating mindfulness. So if you are using drugs and alcohol, it's not a real mindfulness, right? It's not a real mindfulness. Your mind is clouded with unwholesome actions, right? Unwholesome actions. So I think that these are the avoidance and practice, 2 aspects of Sila, right? 2 aspects of Sila. The reason why I explain is the Buddhists normally they think avoiding something is called Sīla, right? So we forget about positive aspect of Sīla. Sīla as a duty, the importance of the practice Sīla or Charita Sīla is beautifully explained and described in the Chulavaka Pali or Vinaya Pitaka. Very beautiful. So even though we learn when we are very young, when I was 30 years old, no, I didn't, 12 years old, I learned this verse, but still can memorize. Easy to recall that verse, right? Because so famous that it is prescribed as a in our textbook, right? In our textbook, a very beautiful explanation in the Chulavaka Pali. One who does not fulfill the duties cannot establish in Sīla. If you are not fulfilling your duties as a parents, as a children, as a monks, you will not establish in Sīla. So that actually is a literal translation of the text. So that means if you are not dutiful, if you do not fulfill your duty, that means you don't have a Sīla. You broke the Sīla, right? You get married, and if you do not fulfill the duty on as a spouse, actually you have broken the Sīla. Then you got a children, you do not fulfill the duty of a parents, that means you broke the Sīla, right? But if you can fulfill, that means you are establishing Sīla, right? You have a Sīla. So actually, this is talking about talking to the monks. Actually, talking to the monks and novices. So if we does not fulfill our duty, we don't have a Sīla. If we do not have a Sīla, then we don't have a Samadhi. So this is a literal translation. One who doesn't establish in Sīla cannot acquire mental composure or mental concentrations. If you don't have a Sīla, no concentrations, right? So if you don't have a Sīla, if you do not fulfill your duty in a family, no concentrations, no peace of mind, right? Not a peace of mind, no serenity of the mind, right? Just like the as a monks. So for that reason, when you read Visuddhimagga, you will see the procedure of meditation. Before you go to a place where you are going to meditate, you have to fulfill all your duties, just like cleaning the ground or filling the water in the pot, and you how to say that, fulfill your duty to your teachers, to your pupil, and also you get permission from them. So only after fulfilling all your duties, then you can go to meditation place. So then only you will have a peace of mind, concentration, mental composure, right? If you did not fulfill your duties, there will be a lot of negative thinking in your mind, right? In your mind. So therefore, fulfilling duty is very important. It is called Sīla. Without Sīla, you cannot get concentrations, right? Concentrations. Without concentrations, you cannot see the Dhamma. You cannot see the Dhamma. Actually, the Chulavaka Pali mentioned that one whose mind is wavering like the flag in the wind, not tranquil, cannot see the Dhamma. So here the Dhamma means the truth. What is right and what is wrong. And impermanence and permanent, right? The truth. So that means only we have a concentration, a peace of mind, then we can see the Dhamma or the truth, right? So only if you do not see the Dhamma, you cannot escape from suffering, or you cannot escape from problem, you cannot escape from unhappiness, right? Actually, this we call it dependent origination, right? Dependent is small model of dependent originations. So if you do not fulfill your duty, no sila, no concentrations, not understanding the truth. If you do not understand the truth, you cannot escape from suffering, dukkha, right? Dukkha. So if we look at this, I think these writings, these passages from Chulawaka Pali, Vinaya Pitaka, it is very important that we need to fulfill our duties, right? Wherever you are, if you are a child, if you are a children, you need to fulfill your duty to your parents, right? If you are parents, you need to fulfill your duties as a parents. So if you are a monk or a nun, right? We have our duties. We have to fulfill. Okay. Then let's go to another one. Collection of Sīla. In Digha Nikaya, we have Sila Khanda Vagga Pali, Sila Khanda Vagga text. This is the first text from Digha Nikaya. It contains 30 suttas. Sila Khanda Vagga means the collection of Sīla. The collection of Sīla. The most complete list of Sīla can be found in the first two suttas. Actually, in all the sutta, but the most complete one can be found in Brahmajala and Sammiññaphala Sutta. Brahmajala and Sammiññaphala Sutta. So therefore, I think that suttas are very important. So I have a discussion with one of my close friends. We have a three Tipitaka, right? We have a three Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Bidama Pitaka. If you were to take only one Pitaka, which one you will take? My friends say Abhidhamma. I say Sutta Pitaka, right? Sutta Pitaka. The reason is in Sutta Pitaka you can find anything. The Dhamma from Abhidhamma Pitaka, Vinaya from Vinaya Pitaka. Everything can be found in Sutta Pitaka, right? Sutta Pitaka. So they are very important. So the most complete list of Sīla can be found in Sila Khanda Vagga Pali. I hope that you have read Sammiññaphala Sutta, the fruit of recluship, right? So after you read all these sutta, you will know what is Sīla. Actually, the Buddha is talking for the monks, not for the lay devotees, right? Talking for the monks. So anyway, after reading the morality of Sīla for monks, you will understand, right? A Buddhist moral conduct, or Buddhist morality, right? You can learn that. So Brahmacharya is very important. So actually I have explained earlier, I thought that, right? For those who are new, I want to explain a little bit. Brahmacharya explained 62 wrong views, right? So this is the first suttas in the 5 Nikayas. The monks, the participants of the first Buddhist council, so they rearrange all the Buddhist teaching according to their classification, right? Dika Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Saundara Nikaya, etc. So among them, they keep Brahmajala Sutta as the first sutta in the Tipitaka, in all the Buddhist teaching. The reason is, so in that sutta, the Buddha mentions 62 type of wrong views, right? So if you know all the wrong view, you know all the right view. Opposite, right? This is a negative approach, right? Negative approach. If you understand all the wrong view, you understand all the right view. The rest, right? So that means your understanding about the Dhamma is found in 62 wrong view. That's not right, right? That's not right. For that reason, that sutta is very important. By showing what are not right, you understand what are right, right? What are right. Very important. And in Brahmajala Sutta, the Buddha have given the guideline when you have criticism regarding with the triple gems, right? Some people may blame and criticize bad things about triple gems, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And the Buddha said that if you hear such criticisms, if you know they are wrong, try to correct them. Do not feel angry toward them. The reason is if we feel angry, if we have anger, we do not know what is right and what is wrong, right? We will follow our emotion. So therefore, the Buddha instead of being angry, and we trying to respond without anger. We trying to respond then. So what they said is wrong, right? But when you hear, people might say good things about triple gems, right? So when you hear such a one, and trying to, if they are right, trying to respond then why they are right, right? So that is a very good guideline given in Brahmajala Sutta. So now we are talking about Saminya Phala Sutta, second sutta, right? Second sutta. I have given a translation of Saminya Phala Sutta, about 50 pages, right? How many pages? So many pages. Sorry that if you don't want to print out, you can bring your handphone or your tablet, right? So you can save the paper, right? You can save the paper. But I will refer to those pages, right? So all the even we are learning meditation, next topic, we will learn that sutta as well, right? We will go based on that sutta, Saminya Phala Sutta. It's a very important one. It shows Sila, Samadhi, Panya, right? Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So all the sutta from Sila Khanda Varga listed morality into three categories. The first one is Chula Sila, the short section on morality. And secondly, Majjhima Sila, the intermediate section on morality. And Mahasila, the long section on morality. So Sila is mentioned in three categories. So as you all know that, I think I don't need to explain a lot about King Ajatasattu, right? So he is the one who killed his father. So at the end of this discourse, the Buddha said that if he didn't kill his father, he will become Sotapanna right away, right? Because he killed his father, he committed a very hideous crime. Because of that, even he hear the Dhamma, so he didn't become Sotapanna, right? Sotapanna. So he went to go and meet the Buddha. He afraid that he killed disciples of the Buddha, his father, right? He dare not to go and approach the Buddha. And on full moon day, one full moon day, it is a December, in a December full moon day. You know, the sky is clear, and he was sitting on the veranda together with his ministers and advisors. So by that time he said that it's beautiful, though it's beautiful. So it will be very nice to go and see a religious spiritual guru, right? So disciples of other spiritual schools, they give advice to go their teachers. But the Daughter Jivaka is silent because he knows that the king wants to go and meet the Buddha. So anyway, the king taught to Jivaka, the Daughter Jivaka, everyone suggested to go to their religious master, but why are you silent? Then only Daughter Jivaka said that the Buddha is currently staying in Viluvana temple. Then it's good to go there, right? Then the king Ajata said to go there, and he see that the Buddha was sitting with a large follower of disciples, very quiet, right? You see, he doesn't hear anything, any noise, so he became afraid, right? He think that Daughter Jivaka make a plan to kill him, right? And Daughter Jivaka said that just go ahead. Then when he met with the Buddha, he has a feeling of calmness in his mind, right? He's worried that one day his son will kill him and become the king, right? Just like he committed his father, right? Then he said that, I want my son get such type of serenity of the mind, right? He make a wish. And the Buddha said that, the king, may your wish be answered, right? Then after that, after their Korea talk, Korea conversation, the king asked the question. The king asked one question. And the Buddha asked, did you ask the same question to other religious master? And the king answered yes. And the king answered their answer, right? The king how to say, the replying to the Buddha, giving their answer. So by studying this Sutta, Samanyaphala Sutta, we can learn the important teachings of the spiritual master at the time of the Buddha, right? At the time of the Buddha. Then the king asked the same question to the Buddha. Go to paragraph number 33. Paragraph number 33. Paragraph number 33, the first visible fruit of reclusion, right? And the king said, Bhante, there are various professions or cracks, right? Various professions, just like elephant trainers, horse trainers, charioteers, archers, soldiers, domestic workers, barbers, laundrymen, cooks, porters, accountants, and then we're not reading all, right? So actually the king is talking a lot of professions. So these professionals, they enjoy here and now the visible fruit of their professions. They obtain happiness and joy in themselves and also they give happiness and joy to their parents, to their wives, to their children, to their friends and colleagues. And they establish an excellent presentation or gift to recluse and Brahmins. So that means they do dana, leading to which lead to heaven, ripening in happiness, conducing to a heavenly rebirth. So again, is talking. There are a lot of professions. Many people they do their profession, right? In this way, they have a happiness for themselves, and they can give happiness to their family, to their friends, right? So these are the result that they can experience in this very life, right? Right now. And the king asks, is it possible, Venerable Sir, to point out any fruit of reclusive that is similarly visible here and now? So actually, the fruit of reclusive is Saminya Phala, right? You became a monk. Can you tell us the fruit of being a monk right now, right? That can be experienced, that can be seen right now. The question is like this. So many people will be surprised, right? Those people who are not from Buddhist background, right? They were surprised why we became a monk, right? So they want to know the fruit of reclusive, or the fruit of manhood, right? Manhood. Actually, the Buddha questioned the king, right? So the Buddha used a counter questioning, and the king, I will ask you the question, and you answer as you think is fit, right? So the Buddha has said, suppose you have a slave, a workman, parat number 34, right? Parat number 34. What do you think, great king? Suppose you have a slave, a workman who rises up before you, retire after you, does wherever you want, acts always for your pleasure, speak politely to you, and is ever on the lookout to see what you are satisfied. Actually, I'm not reading all, but it will take a lot of time, right? And there is a slave man or workman who is always looking after the king Ajatasattu, right? Then one day he thought that the king Ajatasattu also a human being. I also a human beings, right? But I have to take care of the king, right? But he enjoy sensual pleasures just like a god, right? For me, I have to ride before him and sleep after him like this, right? So I think it is the result of karma, right? And he thought that if I do a good things, in next life, I will be like him. Then thinking that, he became a monk, right? He became a monk. Then the Buddha questioned the king. So after becoming a monk, and he stayed as a monk in the right way, right? Actually, here, after some time, he shake off his hair and beard, right? Put on a saffron robe, go forth from home to homeless. Having gone forth, he dressed restrained in body. That is called Sila, right? In body and speech and mind, content with simply food and shelter, delighting in solitude, right? Then the Buddha said that suppose you are man, report this one to the king, to you. So you are slave and you are workman, became a monk. Before he used to take care of you. And the Buddha asked the king, will you told him and became a slave or workman again and take care of me again? Will you say? And the king said, no, I won't say that, but I will pay respect to him, right? Certainly no, Venerable Sir. Rather, you will pay homage to him and rise up out of respect for him. Invite him to a seat or invite him to accept from us robes, alms food, dwelling, medicinal requirements. And we will provide him righteous protection, defense, and security, right? So this is the first fruit of reclusive that can be experienced right now, right? That can be experienced right now. Earlier, he was a slave man who had to look after the king. But right now, the king look after him, right? He don't need to pay homage. You don't need to right before and retire after him, right? Now, the king pay homage to him. So that is the first fruit of reclusive. And second one, paragraph number 37, and the Buddha asked the king, what do you think, great king? Suppose there is a farmer, a householder, who paid tax to maintain the royal revenue, right? But now it's a farmer or a householder. And you think that the king enjoy doing nothing. He have to pay him tax, right? It is, if I were to do a lot of good things in this life, I will become like him in this life, right? Thinking that, and he became a monk. And how to say that his man reported that the farmer and householder became a monk, right? And the Buddha asked the king, will you force that farmer or householder to become a farmer and householder, pay tax to maintain royal revenue? And the king said, no, I will not do that. Instead, I will pay respect to him and I will provide everything he needs, right? And the Buddha said, this is the second fruit, the fruit of reclusive, right? That can be experienced in this life, right? I want to share my own story. It's very on stage can recollect. So at the age of 12 years old, I became a samanera, a novice. So before that, I have to do a lot of things in the family. Of course, I have to afraid of my parents. Most importantly, I have to afraid of my sisters, elder sister, elder sisters. So when I became a samanera, I still remember the first experience coming back to my home. But in the morning, I came home and they prepare a seat with the cover, and then I have to sit down there. And my sisters and pay respect to me respectfully. He offered food to me. So this is a very, much different, Before I became samanera, I have to pay respect to my sisters, right? I have to prepare a seat for my sisters. But now she prepare a seat for me, she offer food to me, right? So that is the fruit of reclusive, right? The fruit of reclusive. I think it is that can be experienced right now, right? Here and now. Then I still remember one of my cousin brother, and he said he's smiling and laughing. So this is the fruit of reclusive, right? So earlier you have to afraid of your sister. Now your sister is paying respect to you. So that is the fruit of reclusive, right? That can be experienced right now. So it's a good memory. So as a parent, before I became Samanera, I have to pay respect to my parents, right? But as a man, they pay respect to me. So that is the fruit of reclusive, right? And also in Myanmar, when you don't need to pay any tax. But I think even here, right? As a religious organization, you don't need to pay tax, right? So that is the fruit of reclusive, right? The fruit of reclusive. Okay, so I think these are the fruit of reclusive that can be seen, right now. And the king asks, is there anything that can be seen right now? The Buddha said yes. Then the Buddha talked about 3 types of Sīla, right? Chula Sīla, Majjhima Sīla, and Maha Sīla. Then after that, the Buddha talked about concentration. Then after that, the Buddha talked about wisdom, right? The wisdom. So when somebody became Arahant, the Buddha said that there's nothing to do. There's only, this is the end of the fruit of arahantship, right? If you became a Samanera, or if you became a monk or nuns, the fruit of being a reclusive, the higher form of the fruit or benefit is becoming Arahant, right? So when you learn this Sutta, you can understand the Arahant, right? Becoming Arahant. The Buddha didn't say becoming the Buddha, right? You understand? Not becoming the Buddha. Becoming the Buddha, becoming Arahant, the same. No different. Only the quality, right? Only the quality. I always explain that you are also Singaporean. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong also Singaporean. In the basis of citizenship, the same, right? The same. But you have different qualities, right? Different qualities. Any question? Okay, then let's go to next one. 4 types of Sīla. So that is mentioned in Visuddhimagga, chapter 1, paragraph number 25. So when we talk about 4 types of Sīla, you can go and read Digha Nikaya, Sutta number 2, paragraph number 44. So that is a Samanya Phala Sutta. Please go to paragraph number 44. Paragraph number 44. Actually, Visuddhimagga and also the commentaries, they trying to classify the different type of Sīla looking at those sutta, right? Looking at those paragraphs. If you look at paragraph number 44, you will understand 4 type of Sīla. When he has thus gone forth, he lives restrained by the restraint of the Patimokkha. But here, you can see the definition of Patimokkha underneath in the footnote. The code of fundamental monastic rules, right? Fundamental monastic rules. So as a monk, we have 227. For nuns, 311, right? 11, right? For lay devotees, 5 precepts. Right? So that is called Patimokha, right? Patimokha. Possess of proper behaviors and resort. Having taken the rules of training, he trains himself in them. As a lay devotee, 5 precepts, right? Taking up the rules of training, he trains himself in them, seeing danger in the slightest fault. Even the slightest fault, you see the danger. If you break this slightest fault, you have a such problem, right? He becomes to be endowed with wholesome bodily and verbal action. But here, two, right? Bodily and verbal actions, not mental actions. So we are talking about Sila. So therefore, we interpret Sila means bodily and verbal actions. Looking at this one, right? He comes to be endowed with the wholesome bodily and verbal actions. His livelihood is purified. Later we will learn how he can purify his livelihood, right? And he is possessed of moral discipline. He guards the door of his sense faculties. He's trying to control his eye, ear, etc., right? Usually controlling your senses, your eye, your ear, your nose, that's called Sila. Is endowed with the mindfulness and clear comprehension and content. So actually here, endowed with the mindfulness, actually mindfulness is not a Sila, it is a bhavana, right? It's a bhavana, meditation. And clear comprehension, the same thing, meditation. And content, also meditation, right? So whatever connected with the mind is called meditation. Whatever connected with the body and speeches, that's called Sila, right? But here, the first one is the morality of rules, restraint. In the Visuddhimagga, Sila is mentioned in 4 types. Number 1, the morality of rules, restraint. So here, Patimokha is fundamental Vinaya rules and regulations for monks and nuns, and 5 precepts for lay devotees, right? Lay devotees. So that is called Sila. So as a Singaporeans, as a citizens of Singapore, you have a rules and regulations that you have to follow, right? So that is called Sila. If you break Sila, you have to go to jail, or you have to get fined, right? You have to be fined. So that is a breaking Sila, right? Breaking Sila. Here, the first one is a Patimokha Samvara Sila. But Samvara is controlling or restraint, right? Controlling or restraint. The morality of rules, restraint, rule control. So as a Buddhist man, we have 227 Vinaya rules, major rules. And if we elaborate those rules, 91 billion rules and regulations. Actually, Visuddhimagga mentioned exact number of, as I have written here, 91 billion and 805 million and 36,000 rules. So that means we have a 91 billion rules and regulations for minds, right? So there are so many, but actually even the Arahant, they can still break the Vinaya rules, right? Because of variety of Vinaya rules, right? Even the Arahant, that means Arahant do not break the Vinaya rules with the negative mental state, right? Negative mental state. Just like one time, if Arahant is meditating in the meeting, is breaking Vinaya rules, right? No meditation in the meeting, right? So here, when we learn about morality or rules, restraint, then you can read Samanyaphala Sutta from paragraph number 45 to 63, right? 63. And look at 45. Look at the 45. We are not reading in detail, but I just want to explain a little bit. Look at paragraph number 45. Then the first one talk about killing, right? So that man trying to refrain, abandon killing, destruction of life, right? Instead of killing, he dwells full of kindness, sympathetic for the welfare of all living beings, right? So when you look at this paragraph, we can see two aspects of Sīla, negative and positive, right? Two aspects of Sīla, killing and practicing compassion and sympathy, right? And next one, abandon taking what is not given. Instead of taking what is not given, are you accepting and expecting only what is given? So when you're working for a company, you're trying to get what is given, right? What does that to you? That is called Sīla. Actually, all these are taking what is not given and telling a deliberate lie, and abandoning slandering and harsh speech and frivolous talk, right? And also abstain from dancing, damaging seed and plant life. Eat only one meal a day, and abstain from dancing, singing, instrumental music, witnessing unsuitable shows, right? Unsuitable shows. So that means listening music and seeing the film, right? Movie. That is a breaking Vinaya rules as a monk, right? As a monk. So I think if you look at from paragraph number 45, you will understand, right? What is rule restraint. So these are the rules laid down by the Buddha for monks and nuns. So as a Buddhist monk, we have to follow them. We have to control, right? Breaking those Vinaya rules. So that is called the morality or rules restraint, right? Number 2, actually you can read for yourself, right? we are not reading in detail. Number 2, the morality of restraint of sense faculties. You're trying to control your eye, your ear, right? So as a Buddhist man, not allowed to listen music, trying to control eye, right? So here, you can look at para number 64, very beautiful, a very comprehensive definition. Paragraph number 64. Restraint of sense faculties, right? And how great king does the bhikkhu guard the door of his sense faculties? Here in Great King, having seen a form with the eye, a bhikkhu does not grasp at the sign or the deities. So that means when a man sees the lady, do not grasp. Maybe her face is very beautiful, her body is very beautiful, like this, right? Grab the signs, right? Like this. But we have to control our eye. Since if he were to dress without restraint, without controlling over the faculty of the eye, evil and wholesome state, such as covetousness or greed, might assail him. So that means Lobha and Dosa. So if you like it, Lobha. If you don't like it, Dosa. Sometimes if you do not control your senses, suppose a loud noise, right? Then you just pay attention, even that only that one, you cannot control your dosa, right? Dosa. You are controlling your senses. But you stay where here, but try not to pay attention to that, right? And he practiced restraint and guards the faculty of the eye, achieves restraint over the faculty of the eye. So just like that, having heard a sound with the ear, having smell an odor with the nose, having taste a flavor with the tongue, having touch a tangible object with the body, having cognized a mind object with the mind. Trying to control, right? So this is a controlling of the sense faculties. So by controlling, you will not have a lobha, and you will not have a dosa, right? Dosa. So that is called Sīla. If you can control your senses, that is called Sīla, right? Then you have a diabetes. You need to control the food, right? But without controlling the food, then you are dying. You are dying, right? So you are dying because of that the food, right? You need to control your tongue, right? Controlling your tongue is called Sīla. For that reason, we always say that if someone has a Sīla, long life, right? Long life. That means he can control his bodily and verbal actions, right? Then number 3, the morality or the purity of livelihood. The morality or the purity of livelihood. And you can look at page number, paragraph number 54. Sorry, 56. Paragraph number 56. Actually, remember that it's talking about for the monks, right? Talking about for the monks, not for lay devotees. But here, whereas some recluse and Brahmins, while living on the food offered by the faithful, and they are living by a wrong means of livelihood. Wrong means of livelihood. Actually, the wrong means of livelihood is mentioned extensively for the monks. So you can see some of the examples. Here, prophesizing long life, prophesizing prosperity. You have a long life, I predict. Prediction, right? So that is a wrong livelihood as a Buddhist monk. So that means we don't have to do that. So you will be prosperous, right? If you do that like this, right? The prophesizing in next 50 years or next year, you will become prosperous. You became a rich man like this, right? Prophesizing. And prophesizing the mark on a person's limbs, hands, feet, etc. And divining by means of omens and signs. So all the things about astrology, right? Astrologies and palmistry, and also not only telling the mind of other people, right? So as a Buddhist monk, so we have to refrain from doing astrology, right? Astrology. And look at page number, paragraph number 57. 57. Interpreting the significance of the color, shape of the gems, garments, stuff, sword, spear, arrow, etc. Right? The interpreting the significance of the color, significance of the shape, and other features of the following items, such as the gems, right? So it will determine whether they portend fortune or misfortune. It's talking about not astrology. How you call it this one? Fortune telling. Because your jewelry is something. All right. By looking at your jewelry, so the man will tell something will happen, right? Misfortune will happen, fortune will happen. Fortune telling, right? Fortune telling. So this also, if you look at this one, you can understand a morality or Sīla for monks, right? For monks. And para number 58, making petition to the effect, right? The king will march forward. The king will return. That means Donald Trump will come to Singapore. Then Donald Trump won't be Singapore, right? Like this, petition, right? Petition. Is actually it is considered as the how to say it's not impure livelihood for monks, right? So we are not, our life not based on those business, right? Not based on those business. Our king will attack, and the enemy king will retreat, right? And making petition that American will invade North Korea like this, right? So these are a type of astrology, or how you call it in English? Petition, right? Petition. And para number 59, also petition. So there will be an eclipse of the moon, eclipse of the moon and sun, like this, right? So these are petition. Para number 60 also petition. So there will be abundant rain this year. There will be a drought next year. There will be a good harvest next year, like this, right? Making petition. Based on that, he get money. He earn his living, right? Like this. So actually, there are so many monks in the Buddhist countries, especially Thailand. Fortune telling, right? Thailand, most of the monks living in the cities. There will be a famine, right? Like this. And paragraph number 61 is called debased art. Debased art. It's not a holy one, right? It's debased art. Arranging auspicious dates for marriage. So the monks don't have to arrange marriage. So that's very, very important, right? Very important. In Myanmar, some monasteries they accept the wedding ceremony, and many object that idea. It's not advisable or not allowed for the monks. Not a equal livelihood, right? Equal livelihood. By accepting wedding ceremony, they get sun offering, right? Sun offerings. So that is many people, many monks, they criticize that idea, right? Have you ever seen the monks arrange marriage ceremony or wedding ceremony? Have you seen? Really? Where? Mahayana. Oh, yeah. Actually, this is a Theravada, right? Theravada. Arranging auspicious days. here also in our temple, what we do here is only after their wedding, and we bless. But it is not a breaking the Vinaya rules. So we are not making wedding ceremony, but we just bless them and make a wish they have a long-lasting relationship, right? Just a type of a very simple blessing, right? Simple blessing. So I think there is no surprise that we have a pure followers as a Buddhist, because these are very popular, very important event as a lay person, right? As a lay person. If somebody was born, being was born, a baby is very important in the family, and a getting marriage is very important. Most of the religions, they're trying to make use of those important events, right? So in this way, people afraid to get away from their religion, because if they do not follow their religion, they will not get those services, right? Those services. So as a Buddhist, I think those are nothing to do with religion. So those are nothing to do with the monks. So they are just human affairs. Human people, right? So we believe that people, they can take care of themselves. They can arrange wedding themselves. There's no politics in Buddhism. Politics, they can do themselves, right? So we are not, how to say, we try not to monopolize, right? Politics. Even recent time, in Myanmar, many monks try to involve in politics, but many people criticize. Now on drawback. Sorry?
When you visit the death.
Oh, a very good question. Very good question. Maranasati. Actually, there's only one evidence that the Buddha visited. Actually, it is not in the Pali Canon. It is only in the commentaries. In the commentaries, the Buddha visit. So when in Rajagaha, there is a very famous courtesan, right? Prostitute. Not normal prostitute, the courtesan. So she's very beautiful, and she is a Buddhist. She normally invite monks to her house and offer food. Then monks are assigned to go and receive the offering from her house. So one time, a certain monk had to go there and receive offering from that courtesan, right? She is so beautiful that monk observed, and she liked Sirima, yeah, the courtesan Sirima, and he liked him so much that he forgot about the food and everything, and he became skinny without having any food, and the monks heard that he would die without seeing that courtesan, right? He also know that it's no way to get married with her, right? Then at that time, the courtesan, she has a disease. Because of that disease, she died. Then the Buddha knew that, so one of the monks, he liked the courtesan Sirima, right? Then, without informing him, the Buddha bring many monks to the funeral, right? So at the time, as you all know, that the Buddha told the king to to open the body of Sirima, right? And the Buddha went to a funeral together with the other monks, and the Buddha announced. So when Sirima was alive, and people have to pay 100,000, 10,000, maybe rupees, right, to stay with her. Now the Buddha said that for those who want to get the body of Sirima, have to pay 1,000. Nobody can map. Okay, 100. Nobody can. Okay, 10 rupees. Nobody can. 1 rupees. Nobody can. And the Buddha talk about the the disgusting nature of the body, right? So at the end of the discourse, that man became enlightened. So that is only one place that we see the Buddha visited the funeral. Even the funeral, we consider as a affair of the human beings. Of course, now as a Buddhist, we it is the theory change a lot, right? Theory change a lot, but we still follow the advice of the Buddha, right? And by visiting the wake, we trying to contemplate the nature of impermanence, the nature of death, right? We chanted. So sorry, it's taking a long time. Let me finish this one, yeah? So here, actually, if you read, you will see the morality or the purity of livelihood, right? You will see the Sila. The last one is the morality concerning with the requisites. So regarding with the requisites, you can learn part number 47, right? You can read 47. So these are the 4 types of Sila mentioned in Visuddhimagga. Actually, we can find Samanyaphala Sutta, para number 44, right? 44. Okay, so time is up. Sorry for taking extra time. Okay. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamo nipakavakata kecho parakato bala vidiya samangi tan sukatan saranatamu pemi ragavi ragama ninjama sokan namama sankata mapati kulam madurami mambaguna suvipatan Dhammamimam saranatamu pemi yatha cadena mahapalamahu chatusu sisu purisayugesu ataca bogala Dhammadasate Sangamimam saranatamu pemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.